Current league leaders Arsenal face Crystal Palace at the Emirates, hoping to further cement their title credentials in what promises to be an intriguing clash.
We have more points than any other team in this league, and it's a massive opportunity to make a statement.
Calafiori heads! Arsenal's new campaign is up and running. Gyokeres! A perfect day for Arsenal!
You could sense the energy has gone up a level.
Sibimendi! That's pretty darn special! And it's in! Martinelli! Arsenal pulling out of the flames! And by Gabriel! They're making late goals look routine!
And just look at the players' faces and they want much more.
Trossard with the final touch. The Gunners do it from a corner yet again.
Nothing can bring us down.
We want to achieve that next level.
Well, another London derby at the Emirates Stadium this weekend. Arsenal, top of the table. Outstanding from their point of view has to be, Tim, that defence.
Yeah, I mean, all round, I think they're the most balanced squad in the division. I really do. Years ago, I mean, even last year, you would have said lose Gabriel or Saliba, you're going to struggle. Mascara's come in. Ben White can't even get stripped at the moment. For me, he's a very good player. Calafiori's excellent, and Timber is the best fullback in the league, in my opinion. Like, he's so powerful and strong. And the goalkeeper Raya is probably amongst the top 3 goalkeepers in the world. So yeah, they've got everything. I mean, they're good going forward, but you know what? If they don't score goals and play free-flowing football and open teams up time and time again, score loads of goals, they make sure they don't concede. So it always gives you a chance to win the football match.
I think if I become a manager one day, I think when you've got players like this who, I mean, they celebrate blocks. Yeah. They celebrate tackles, and I think when you take pride in defending, for a manager, it must be a dream, honestly, because at the top end of the pitch, players like myself, you score goals and you celebrate. It's the hardest thing to do in the game, but the best thing. At the same, you got 2 centre backs, Saliba, Gabriel, all these, Timber, all these players that they take so much pride in defending and keeping clean sheets. It's so important.
Yeah. Him out. He's from the academy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, for an academy player to get in amongst that group, it's an incredible achievement.
Yeah, Lewis Skelly did feature in the Champions League, but Calafiori has been playing there, and you wonder why, and then you see what Calafiori brings to the side. They bring goals as well, do the defenders.
Set pieces, yeah.
People criticise them for scoring too many set pieces, or I don't understand it.
It's not illegal, you know that.
Yeah.
It's not illegal to score goals from set pieces, or from long throws, or from long balls forward.
Come back in the game.
Do it by any means. Tottenham used. Arsenal. What did I say, Tottenham?
You did.
Hey, done on purpose. Come on, Tim.
Arsenal used to get criticised because they couldn't have the fight. Sometimes when Wenger was there, they used to have very technical players, and they used to tiki-taka, and it used to be excellent, fantastic. But they used to score magnificent goals to win games. Now they can play poorly, and they can have one long throw. Gyokeres, I'm liking him as well. I mean, he's a physical presence up there. It's not silky as a player, not by any means, but he occupies defenders. And he for me, is a nuisance. I would hate to play against him.
Yeah, you would.
He's a nuisance because I'm not sure at times he knows what he's doing. And I have his biggest compliment, but he gets a ricochet the wrong side of you. He's powerful. He's like a ball. He just pulls you around. And like I say, he occupies the defence for the number 10s who want to come in line, especially that boy, Eze. What a signing Eze was.
Jermaine, you talked about them celebrating blocks. I'm not sure if you saw, but the way they celebrated Gyokeres' goals in the Champions League in midweek, it was the same. Probably also relieved because he has been getting a lot of criticism. What do you make of him as a striker?
I like him because I think when you watch him play, I think he does all the things you expect your number 9 to do. He stands in between the 2 centre-halves. He's dynamic. He runs in behind, gives you an outlet. He's strong. I think the goals are going to come. Listen, there's a lot of pressure. I can't remember the last time that our number 9's had so much pressure on him. There was so much noise around Arsenal. If we get a number 9, we win the league. It's not as simple as that. The number 9, whoever you get, it's got to come and produce. And sometimes we've seen over the years, someone that's Didier Drogba, for example, when he became an iconic figure in the Premier League. But when he first came, he struggled. And there's been so many names that I can mention, top centre forwards that have come to the Premier League and in their first year. Thierry Henry, when Thierry first come from Juventus, I mean, he was a winger. Then he played as a number 9. Naturally, he'll drift out to the left-hand side. But you speak to Thierry, he struggled for a bit. And all of a sudden, you know, you get your rhythm, you get a few goals, you get confidence, and then you become a beast. And with this guy, I mean, he's got so much potential. But in this team, you know, and with the squad there, you know at some point...
You like his character, Jay? I mean, he always puts himself on off-road in between the width of the goals. You know, he misses chances, but he's always
still there.
there.
It doesn't seem to affect him. You know, it doesn't seem to affect... Even if it is, but he doesn't show it. You know, he keeps going and that. And, you know, he's got that football personality, so that's important.
Yeah, well, speaking of French strikers, as you mentioned, in the Premier League, what about Jean-Philippe Mateta? Because he's going to be on the other side challenging this Arsenal defence this weekend. Here's an example of a player flourishing under a certain manager.
Yeah, well, they will know all about him. And like we talk about Gyokeres, physical, a beast of a man, you know, can hold the ball up, but he scores goals, this boy. That means his back's into people, he can bring others into play. But look at him, he knows where he needs to go to score that goal. And it looks like an easy chance, but he has to put himself in that position to be able to do it. But he scores different types of goals, Jay, doesn't he?
Yeah, just even that one there, you know, I remember Ian Wright said to me years ago when I was younger, he said, always be attracted to the goalkeeper. The ball goes wide, he's always in the right spot. He just seems confident at the minute, and I love that he tucks his shirt in. I think he's the only player that does it these days. But but there, I mean, he could have scored 4 in that game.
I was just going to say, that's probably, he scored a hat-trick, but he's probably disappointed with that.
He's chance in that, but I mean, he must be a nightmare to play against. You know, defenders would hate to play against him.
He takes the ball home there. He's missed a chance in like 94th minute there to win it. He probably, I don't know, I've never seen someone so disappointed to score a hat-trick. Perhaps when he took that ball home, he let it down, so it's flat. It's flat in his house now with the rest of it.
Yeah, kicking the corner flag, the now iconic celebration. Jean-Philippe Mateta, stand-out player. How do they deal with him? What makes him so dangerous?
Physical presence, goal scorer, smells instinctively where the chances are going to come from. I think they play, like I say, he occupies defenders as well. So you give him a hard time. You leave space for others. You know, Sarr has been a good player for him. You know, he's got the pace, you know, on the counter. I think they've got other options. I think they're going to find it difficult against Arsenal. But, like, they keep proving me wrong. Palace, I always think the wheels are coming off. They haven't had a good run of it recently. You know, it's been a couple of games. But even me saying, you know, a couple of games for Crystal Palace, that's normal in other years, not this time. This Glasner side is a good side, well organised. I mean, they won a trophy last year. I mean, they do well to keep hold of the manager and an awful lot of their players. They're attracting interest from all over the Premier League, and that says everything. And no more so than that big man up front.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Crystal Palace, just in terms of their own standards right now, because of this team under Oliver Glasner, they are so impressive.
They're impressive. I think they're organised and hard to play against. They've got a way of playing and they stick to it. You know, that stadium was always rocking. You know, it's a hard place to go in that. But I think when you've got a team that's got a way of playing, and at the top end of the pitch you've got a goal scorer, you know, and you play for that person, you know, let's feed him and give him chances, because if we give him chances he will score goals. And Mateta, the confidence that he's playing with, and that's sort of like that presence and how dynamic he is, and not only that, you know, he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. And I don't think you can teach that. So yeah, they're definitely a good team.
Interesting now with Oliver Glasner's contract situation. I think we're keeping a close eye on that because his stock has risen incredibly and he has not yet put pen to paper. Do you have a feeling he's waiting to see what happens with transfers?
Possibly. I mean, I think he's the main reason why Mark Gay never left in the summer. Now, whether they're going to be able to keep Mark Gay, I very much doubt, because he can leave in the summer on a free transfer, but you might as well take whatever the fee's going to be, 30, 40 million in January for him, depending on where Palace are in the league, obviously. Yeah, I mean, the likes of Wharton, Muniz, I think is a top draw player as well. He's developing talent, and a lot of interest coming from bigger clubs, but also his stock is very high at the moment. And I always say to managers, you need to strike while the iron's hot. And at the moment, I don't think his and Areola at Bournemouth stock can get any higher. And if the big giant clubs come for you, you have to go.
Speaking of Bournemouth then.
Well, let's cross live now to Ellen Road to speak to Alan Smith. But Alan, I've got to start with your former club Arsenal and their new number 9. He got 2 goals in midweek against Atletico Madrid. Do you think Gyokeres is a bit of relief there?
I think so, mate. Yeah, definitely. And you saw the reaction of his teammates. They were all delighted for him. Any successful team, Roman, needs the centre forward firing. We know that, and I think everybody involved in the club wants him to do well. He's had his critics partly because he hasn't scored so many, but he's different in style to a lot of the technically adept Arsenal players. He's a bit more forthright. He's got a lovely turn of pace over 5 yards, and what I love about him is those runs. He knows the art of the centre forward in the box, getting ahead of his centre half, and I maintain that he'll get 20 plus goals this season. So yeah, it was a big night for him the other night.
And of course, at Ellen Road tonight, watching a Leeds team that have got 1 Premier League win in their last 7. I mean, can they do it? Can they stay up?
I think they can. I mean, what Daniel Farke will be encouraged by is the fact that for all but one game, and that was the Arsenal away game, they've been competitive. They've been in matches. A bit unlucky not to beat Bournemouth the other week. So as long as you're giving yourself a chance, that you're going to have hope there, and they should certainly have hope tonight against this stuttering West Ham team. A packed Ellen Road behind them. It's going to be some atmosphere because I think all the fans will come along knowing what a big game this is for them.
Yeah, West Ham, I mean, they've got to turn it around tonight, haven't they? Nuno's got to do the business.
Yeah, I mean, I did the game on Monday night, Roman, against Brentford when they were abysmal. You don't use that word lightly, but I've rarely seen a team at home as bad as that in the Premier League. So the thing is with them, they haven't got legs, they haven't got energy and pace, whereas Leeds have. So will they get overrun tonight by the home team? And Nuno, he looks back at his bench, hasn't got too many options, hasn't got too many at all. Kilman and Todibo were really poor the other night against Brentford, but it looks like they've got to play again with Mavropanos injured, so he can't swap it about too much. He's just got to urge his players to give a lot more than they have been.
Amazing. Alan, thank you so much, mate, and enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Incredible stat, 3 goals conceded only in your first 12 games. It's the least in the history of the club. Is there a motivation to create more history, maybe even break Chelsea's record from back in the day?
Yeah, we want that this kind of records that we are getting a lot at the end brings the silverware and the trophies that we want. But obviously, the more we can produce, I think the closer we're going to be to achieve what we want to do. And that defensive record is very good, but we need to be consistent. It's only just the start of the season, and the aim is to continue improving things, which we can do still, a lot of them to even better.
Crystal Palace next, I guess a big game for Eberechi Eze in particular, his first game against his former club. What are his emotions like? What have you noticed?
It's a big game for us because last season here we dropped some points, and it's the 4th game in a row that we're going to play against opponents that we drop points, and this season we've been able to beat them. So we focus on that. We know that for Ebbs it's going to be a very special match with the history and what he did for Palace. But the focus is on the team.
Just on those 4 games, because you preempted my next question, but does that form part of your messaging to the team? Look, we didn't win against these 4 teams last season. You've done it with the previous 3. Now the chance to do it with the 4th.
Well, if we want a very different outcome, we better do very different things that we did last year, especially against these fixtures. So we know what Palace are doing, what Oliver has done for the football club, and the way they are getting results. So it's going to be a really tough match. But we're going to play again in front of our crowd, and we are confident if we hit our level, we have a big chance to win it.
Final one from me, Mikel. A lot of people are talking about the strength of your squad. Just from the manager's perspective, does that bring with it its own challenges? Because I'm guessing it can't be easy for you to leave out players who maybe deserve to be in the team. And how accepting, on the flip side, do the players have to be to know, look, you're not going to play as much as maybe you deserve or you want to?
Well, there are 2 sides to it. One, the emotional part and my attachment with the individual, with the person, and I would love to play all of them, but the second one, obviously, without a question of a doubt, I'd rather have this situation, the situation we had in the last few years, when at some point we were very short in numbers. So we have created a very strong environment, a really competitive and supportive environment that hopefully can challenge to be very competitive every game. That's the aim, and that's what we want to achieve, and we just all go towards that direction.
Thank you. Go back to Anita from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
You've obviously got some players who are in great form, but looking at Crystal Palace, Jean-Philippe Mateta looks like a completely new player. 5 goals so far in the opening, 8 Premier League games. How do you stop him?
Well, first of all, is obviously what they do as a team at their level of organization. They have very clear intentions of how they want to attack and which moment they use to attack and to hurt opponents. So stopping the source is probably the best way. When you get into certain situation in 1v1, you know that is very prolific and it's been very, very successful, especially recently. So trying to avoid that.
From their attacker to one of your attackers, Victor, of course, getting a brace midweek against Atletico. What was your conversation with him like after that? Of course, a lot of rumblings around the...
He didn't need a conversation. He just needed a hug and just look at him and enjoy how happy he was after the game. And I think we were all very happy because he fully deserves that.
My final one, 15 goals so far from the opening games. I know you're used to many questions being asked about the manner in which the goals are being scored, with 2/3 of them coming from set pieces. Are you at all concerned that it's only 5 from open play at this stage?
No, that's because I don't see football like open play and set pieces. I see the game in a different way.
Okay, thank you. Best of luck.
Ian from Talksport.
Hi, Mikel. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
You going on from that then, the set pieces. I mean, a lot of people say that Arsenal score most of their goals from set pieces. They still can't stop you, and yet football seems to be going more to teams who want to be like you, scoring from set pieces. How have you done and perfected this?
With work. First of all, creating the culture, giving to that part of the game the importance that it has, understanding that again football is evolving and the opponents are behaving against us, that we have to maximize certain things that happen very frequently. So something that happens very frequently better has a lot of value to us, so trying to maximize that and be effective.
At what point did you say though, or did you hone in on the fact that this was going to be such a rich source of goals and so good for your team?
10 years ago.
This weekend's clash between Arsenal and Crystal Palace is more than just another Premier League fixture. It's a defining moment in Arsenal's season. After a mixed run of results and growing pressure on consistency, Mikel Arteta's men know that anything less than 3 points could seriously dent their title ambitions. Arsenal have been strong at home, but recent defensive lapses and injuries, including doubts over Gabriel Magalhaes, have raised concerns. Crystal Palace, under Oliver Glasner, have proven they can frustrate top sides, making this a potential banana skin for the Gunners. A win for Arsenal would keep them firmly in the race with Manchester City and Liverpool, restoring confidence after a few nervy performances. It would also showcase the squad's depth and resilience, key traits for any serious title contender. But a draw or loss could spark fresh criticism, with fans questioning whether Arsenal have the mentality to go all the way this time. In short, this game isn't just about points. It's about momentum, belief, and the statement Arsenal can make to the rest of the league. Beat Palace, and the title dream stays alive. Slip up, and doubts will start to creep back in.